Hello and welcome back to Security Guard Command. Today I'm going to talk about something that's going to help you land that contract.
Check it out. Check it out.
So today I want to talk about how I do an in-depth security analysis of a potential site that you may want to provide services to. So check this out. All right, so what we're looking at here is a Google satellite view, and I am marking on the map where the main entrances are. There are two gates for vehicles to enter and exit the property. Next, I'm going to show you the perimeter of the property. This is a road that goes all the way around the entire property. That would be important for part of your patrols. Next up here, I'm going to show you all of the cul-de-sacs in this gated community. You're going to want to account for every single one of these because you'll have to go through these during your patrols, and these take up a lot more time than just going down a single road. So mark these down and make sure you know where every single dead end is so that you can account for your travels through. And yeah, that's it, guys. Print this out and put it on paper. Leave some space on the edges for notes. All right, so what I just showed you there was a Google satellite view of the property that we are analyzing. I showed you the perimeter. I showed you the vehicle ingress and egress via the gates on the roads. And I showed you the road that goes around the property, which would be the perimeter. Next thing you're going to want to do is you're going to want to time yourself. First, driving around the entire property at about 5 miles an hour and see how long it takes for you to cover every single road in the entire property. Next, what you're going to want to do is you're going to want to walk. And you're going to want to time how long it takes to walk the entire property. Next, start analyzing all of the areas that people can walk into the property. See if there's any ability for someone to enter the property by foot. And here's an example right here. And what we're looking at is a fence line with what looks like a pathway, and the fence is kind of messed up, so people can get into this area by foot very easily. So the next thing you're going to want to start looking for is the ability to enter the property by foot. And what you can see in this picture right here is that there's a fence, there's some area that's easy to walk up from the road into, and the fence is kind of destroyed, so you can actually crawl under the fence or even climb over the fence and relatively easily get in. You can even bring a bicycle in through this way. Another point of access would be the gate where the vehicles come in. It's just a simple fence on both sides, but then you can walk up around the fence and get into the property very easily because there's nothing to stop you. It's just you just walk up around the fence. So given that, that's an area of concern for me as far as security goes. And let's talk about the vehicle entrances now. The vehicle entrances on this property are gates, and they're electric gates. Now, the very back gate that has absolutely no houses nearby and very low lighting. You cannot enter that gate without a remote. However, if you are on the other side of the gate and you drive up to it, the gate will open for you because it will sense that your vehicle is present. It's a metal detector under the ground. Now, if someone was to pull up to that gate from the outside, get out of the vehicle, and then walk around the gate, and then around the gate and go into the inside of the property, and then say lay down a metal object like a trash can lid on the sensor, the gate will now open up. They can go into the vehicle and they can pull into the property. So security on that gate is low. So that's a concern, and that's an area that you're going to want to watch and keep an eye on as far as access goes. Now, the rest of the property is fairly secure. You got a lot of area that's wide open that approaches the perimeter of the property. So it's unlikely that someone may approach from those areas. Plus, the terrain is not exactly hospitable. It's very rough terrain. So most criminals are not going to take the hard way in. They're going to look for the easiest way in. And so those are going to be our focus points. Now, one thing that I want to point out about this whole analysis project is it's going to take 1 to 2 days, depending on the size of the property. If it's a smaller property, you can get away with 1 day, but you're going to have to be there both in the daytime and at nighttime. And the reason that you want to be there at nighttime is because you want to check the lighting. You want to see what the lighting's like and make note of any lights that are burned out, etc. Areas that are dark are going to be attractive to the criminals, and they are going to try to come in through that way, and they're going to try to stay in the shadows. So include that in your notes, that there are areas that are dark at night. And when you speak with the owners of this property or the property managers or whoever is going to be deciding to use you as a service, make sure you let them know that these areas are an area of concern as far as security goes, and make sure that they're aware that those areas are in need of some improvement. Another thing to look at, and this is something that's kind of off of the main topic, but look at the terrain around the property, and especially like I mentioned earlier, that this particular property that I'm looking at right now has a lot of open space leading up to the property perimeter. This is going to determine what type of flashlights you will want your guards to use. For those long, wide open spaces, you're going to want a long, narrow beam for a flashlight that throws really far. For the areas inside of the property where you've got the houses and the homes, you're going to want a different kind of flashlight for that. And the one that I personally have experience with is the Streamlight Stinger HL series beam pattern. And what that is it's got a narrow beam, but it also has a wide spread that lights up a large area in front of you. So you can throw the beam pretty far, but it's more of a flashlight that's designed to be used for alleyways and houses and looking into buildings and rooms. If you use the long throw flashlight in that area, what it's going to end up doing is it's going to be a very narrow beam. You're going to have a lot of dark spaces on the sides of you, and it's just not going to be a very good flashlight for in the neighborhood. But you'll want either like a spotlight or a long throw flashlight for those fields, so you can see if anybody's approaching across the field while you're doing your patrols. You can do a sweep across the field and get a good view. So 2 different flashlights or a spotlight and the HL light that I mentioned would be 2 ideal lights to use for a property like this, just so you can see out there. Because I guarantee you that if you go out there in the middle of the night, it's going to be pitch black out there. You will not be able to see anything in that field. The next thing that you're going to want to look at, and this is going to be a daytime thing, is you want to look at all of the bushes, the plants, any type of barriers, any place that a criminal can hide. And here's the thing, is that most criminals are going to pre-plan their theft attempts. They're going to be looking at a place for a couple days beforehand. They're going to look for the best way in. They're going to look for hiding spots. They're going to look for the darkness. And so you want to make note of all these areas that a criminal can hide. You want to be aware of them, mark them down on that piece of paper with the map that you printed, of the areas. And you know, it may be something as simple as having the property management trim the bushes to minimize the amount of hiding spaces that these criminals can use. So keep an eye out for hiding spaces anywhere that you've really, as the analyst for this security detail, you've got to put your mindset into the mindset of a criminal. So you've got to think like a criminal. How would you break into a place? Consider what the high value targets are, and then how would you break in and steal from that target? And so you've really got to put yourself into that position of the criminal and think about how they're going to do it. And there's different types of criminals. There's the crackheads, there's the career thieves, and so with like the drug addicts and the crackheads, they are for the most part opportunists. So they will be riding their bicycle by, or they'll be walking by, wandering, and they'll see something that they want that's a value that they could turn into cash to buy their drugs and get their next fix. And so those criminals are going to just hop in. They're going to look for the most opportunistic way in, and that's where the shadows and the hiding spots come into play. The career thieves are a little harder because they case out a place, they watch a place, they get to know everything. So in that case there, you really want to pay attention to your points of entrance on the property, because strange vehicles that come in once or twice and then leave, that's a red flag. You want to keep an eye on that. You want to get information on that. But I'm digressing because we're not even at the point yet where we are providing security for this place. We are just simply doing an analysis right now. Make sure that you've got all of your entrances and exits covered. Know where they can come in, where they can leave. Mention it to the owners. They, honestly, they should be the ones to fix those problems. If there's a hole in a fence or an entrance in a fence that shouldn't be, they need to fix it. But security's job is to watch those areas and make sure that nobody can get in to the property. Another thing you'll want to take note of when you're doing your patrol to time yourself, look at the speed limit signs, look at the neighborhood, and then bring up, if there's any speed limits posted, bring it up with the HOA or the property management. Do you want us to monitor traffic in the property? Do you want us to, monitor speed limits? Do you want us to give out citations or notices to anybody who violates the rules of the property? Another thing you can do too is make a catalog of every single light post on the streets of this property and with their location. You can use your cell phone to get the GPS coordinates, latitude, longitude, and make a table and say, and then that way you can present every single light, and you can also let them know that you will be doing work orders for any lights that are burned out while you're on your patrols. And that way it just saves the property management the hassle of trying to find out which lights are burned out. They can just put in a work order and have the lights fixed, and all courtesy of the security company. Another thing to take note is related to the neighborhood. Look at the other types of businesses that are in the area, because those businesses may dictate what type of foot traffic you're going to get in that area as well. In this particular case, there is a mini storage directly across the street from the main gate of this property. And that alone is going to attract a bad element, because a lot of people, they deal with a lot of issues with break-ins at these places. You've got RVs, you've got storage units, you've got boats, all sitting in this yard across the street. And so right off the bat, you're going to be attracting people who are wanting to steal items from that place across the street. That's going to, that negative element is going to migrate into your property. So it's good idea to know what type of areas and what type of situation you're going to have in the neighborhood. So this report that you're generating, print everything out in a nice presentation. So what you guys want to do is take all the information that you gather about this property and this site, and you're going to want to compile it into a report. Make a list of each problem that you identified, and then you write underneath that problem your solution to fix the problem. And the more services that you can offer the client, the more stuff you can add into your contract, and the more money you can make. So look for every single possible thing you can. The client's not going to want you to address all of them most of the time, but at least you give the client lots of options. You can make a custom contract and cover the things that the client wants you to cover. You're not going to give the client or the potential client this information. This is yours. This is proprietary information. You don't want them taking it and then giving it to somebody else to use to do security. All the work you did down the drain. So you keep this report. I wanted to, for the sake of this video, I wanted to print out everything out and show you an example of a report, but my printer is down right now, so I can't print anything. But I think you guys kind of get the idea. Make sure you take all your notes, type write them out into a use like a Photoshop or an image editor, and you can type all your notes out onto your map and do it nicely. That way it's easy to read, and the potential client can look at all of this and understand it. So there you have it, guys. That's my rundown of how to do a security analysis for a property. Let me know what you guys think. Leave your comments. If you have any other ideas, tips, or tricks that you guys have done, let me know. And if you like this video, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. Thank you guys very much.